One of the primary things I learned was that she had a very sophisticated way of minimizing any personal problems. I also learned that she tends to, well, there were a number of characteristics that were consistent with the eventual diagnoses, but some of the primary characteristics, and I'm going to try to condense 25 pages here, were essentially externalization of blame, tending to have a lot of inner hostility that is attempted to be controlled, a tendency to be very self-righteous, but to also deny that self-righteousness and to judge others critically against these sort of high standards for moral value, but also to deny doing that, essentially to claim that one is very non-judgmental and accepting and yet very full of rage, really.
Dr. Shannon Curry talking about Amber Heard inside the courtroom today. Big, big day. Let's bring back in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter. Chanley, one question a lot of people have is why she was evaluated to begin with, and I understand you have some new information tonight.
Yeah, I do, Vinny. Before every trial, you know, I scour through the court documents, the filings, and I see in the court file where Heard's team tried to have Depp have a mental evaluation, independent mental evaluation conducted, and the judge denied that at least once or twice. So I did some little digging, and a source close to the Depp team gave us this background statement, and it says during the preliminary hearings, Amber proactively brought her mental health into question when she independently commissioned Dr. Hughes to do an evaluation on her for this trial, and in that evaluation claimed she had PTSD. That gave Johnny's team the opportunity to motion for an independent evaluation of Amber, and that was granted. Amber's team attempted to do the same thing to Johnny on 2 separate occasions, but they were both rejected on the premise that Johnny never willingly put his mental health into question. And that's Dr. Dawn Hughes, a forensic psychologist. She's on Amber Heard's witness list. So that is some background as to why we're seeing Johnny Depp's team having the ability to hire this expert to evaluate Amber Heard from that perspective, Vinny.
Fascinating. Big question everyone was asking today. All right, how about the jury? How'd they react today to this testimony?
You know, this jury's stoic, expressionless for the most part, but I did see an uptick in note-taking. At certain points during the direct testimony of Dr. Curry, Vinny, all the heads on the jury panel were down, taking notes simultaneously to what she was explaining and her conclusions that she made about Amber Heard. And I noticed a shift on the cross-examination, not as many notes being taken on the cross of Dr. Curry, which I thought was interesting. And then if we fast forward to the afternoon where the LAPD officer was on the standby deposition, a pre-recorded deposition, it was almost a snooze fest inside the courtroom. I hate to say it that way, but it was the end of the day. It was tedious, and sometimes it seemed repetitive, and you could just tell the jurors were pretty much checked out at the end of the afternoon. Some yawns.
All right, speaking of the end of the day, how did Johnny Depp and Amber Heard look as they exited the courthouse today?
A big crowd outside for Johnny Depp to exit court today. They leave the courtroom early, I noticed today, to go to the backside, to be out on the other side of the gate so they could watch him depart. And of course, he rolls down his window, he waves at them, they yell wonderful things towards him. Hear that?
Absolutely.
Those are his fans.
Way in the distance there.
Not the same
there.
reaction,
They're
though.
back behind the fences.
Right. You can see them there. You can see them in the distance. Yep. The alpacas were out there yesterday, Vinny. But not the same for Amber Heard. But today, there were not the audible boos that were heard yesterday from that same crowd.
Okay, well, that's good. No one should be booed on their way out of the courthouse. It's a civil case. Both sides make their arguments. Chanley Painter, thank you so much. We're out of time for this hour.